Hi, welcome back to Midweek Encouragement with the First Church of God. I'm so thankful that you could join us here today. Hey, if you notice the cross, it's got a blue background. And the reason for that, this month has a couple of special significant things that get to be recognized. One of them is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we like to support that and encourage people with that. We're not going to use the cross in the pink color because it just doesn't look good on our setting, but blue is the symbol for Down syndrome, and this is Down Syndrome Awareness Month. And I have got some beautiful, beautiful friends that God has blessed us with that are children of Down syndrome, and some other friends that have some special needs that I love to love on because God has given those special people to us. So that's why the blue this month. I came across the story a long time ago. And in Ethiopia, there was this young girl and young man. They fell in love and they got married. It wasn't long after they got married, they started having some conflict. She would get upset because he would leave his fingernail clippings and toenail clippings on the floor, or he would not help her with the chores around the house. And then he would get mad saying that she spent too much money at the market. And their spats were getting worse and worse, uglier and uglier. So she went to the local medicine man and said, "Hey, I need some help. Either I'm going to get a divorce or I need some help." And he said, "Well, I know of a magic medicine that may help the situation." And she said, "Give it to me, give it to me." And he said, "To make the medicine, I need the hair off of the tail of the lion that lives down by the river." She says, I don't know if I could do that." And he says, "Well, I don't know how to do it, but I do know how to make the medicine. I just need the hair." So she goes down to the river and she looks for the lion. She sees him. She sees his teeth and she begins to tremble. And then when he lets out a roar, it scares her so bad that she goes running home. The next day, she goes back down to the river. And this time, she takes a sack of meat and sets it about 200 yards away from the lion, and then goes and hides behind a rock. She watches as the lion comes and he gets the sack of meat and he tears it to pieces and enjoys a good meal. The next day she goes back with another bag of meat, but this time 100 yards. And the next day 50 yards, and then 25 yards, and then close enough that she drops it and she's standing right next to the bag of meat. The lion comes and he begins to enjoy his tasty free meal. And as he's enjoying it, she bravely and trembling reaches out and yanks a hair off of his tail. She goes running back to the medicine man and says, I've got it. Now give me the medicine." And the wise doctor said, "I really don't have a medicine." "You promised," she exclaimed. "You promised." And he says, "If you will approach your marriage to make a change, just like you had the determination to get this hair, I think you will see a change. Because if it's worth having, it's worth fighting for." So she left that day with a new resolve, and things began to turn around. Remember the time in the Bible when Jesus went into the temple and he turned all the tables over right after he had ridden into town on a donkey? Jesus was right for his anger because the people were sinning against God the Father. He said, "My house, my Father's house, shall be a house of prayer." And you've turned it into a den of thieves, or you've turned it into a flea market. Um, you've cheapened, what Jesus was saying, I feel, is you have cheapened what was meant to be about relationships and reverence and eternity into something selfish, transactional, and a temporary deal. God never intended our relationships with Him and with one another to be transactional. Too often, that is what they have become. Maybe unconsciously, we are saying, what is in it for me? Have we been guilty of giving love to get love, or to pay attention so that others will pay attention to us? Do we give kindness away expecting it in return? What does it look like to drop the transaction of relationships? I think it looks a lot like Jesus. In Luke chapter 7:12, Jesus said, "Do to others as you would have them do to you." And then I love Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. It says, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due the season we will reap if we do not lose heart." Someone once said, doing good around here is like wetting your pants in a dark suit. It gives you a warm feeling, but nobody notices. Today, what if we show up with anticipation and expectation of what we can bring and not what we can get in our relationship with God and others? Jesus never stopped and asked permission to do good. There will be people who cross our paths, whether directly or indirectly today. And it's always a good time to do good, whether anyone notices or not. But let's please try not to wet your pants. May God bless you today as we go around looking to do good in the name of Jesus. Bye-bye.